Good morning, everyone. Well, it's really afternoon. I think it's just around noontime. And this is Lily's World. And I want to do a little scope here to take up my time because I'm nervous today about my horses are getting fall vaccines, and one of my horses, Echo, the black one, sometimes colics a little bit faint, not really bad, but it still makes me nervous. And Spirit goes for her first chemo treatment in an hour and a half. Hi, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the hearts. I thought I'd come on, and I saw this little paper inside my cupboard. I keep this inside my cupboard about treats for the chickens. And I saw it when I was getting my cereal, and I thought, well, I should put this on scope. There's so many good foods you can feed them. I mean, this is besides their regular food. I mean, these are treats you can give them, Let me start with the bad ones first, and then after I tell you the good ones, I will go back to the bad ones so you remember. Bad foods never to give chickens. Avocado skin and the pit. A lot of pits to fruit or whatever have arsenic in them, if you didn't know. Even stones, even the seeds of apple have arsenic, a little bit, but you don't want to be feeding your chickens that. Yeah, no chocolate, really no sugar. It can be toxic if they get too much sugar. No candy. And the big thing is no citrus fruits. No citrus of any kind. It's too much acid. Cut grass. When you cut your grass, don't just take handfuls of it and throw it in your coop for your chickens. Short pieces are okay, but longer pieces could actually impact the crop, and that can be a real problem. I had a little tiny chick die from that. Not because he got grass, but he came to me with an impacted crop. And they can't eat. Dried beans of any kind. Beans have to be cooked. They're toxic when they're dry. Potatoes, as far as the green skins of potatoes, raw green potatoes. You should cook, if you're going to give them potatoes, which you can cook them first. Like leftovers from your dinner. They can have potatoes, but they have to be cooked. Garlic and onions, it says here, in big doses are toxic. However, they use garlic a lot for chickens as an anti-wormer. And so in little doses, just in little doses, you can put it in their water or in their food. Moldy foods. Never feed a chicken something that you wouldn't eat. If the food gets moldy in your refrigerator or on the counter, don't feed it to the chickens, because you can feed it if it's very ripe, but not moldy. And that's the list of the bad foods. Now, I don't know if there's more or not, but that's what's the list I have on this little paper. Now, there's so many things that you can give them as treats. It's nice to give your chickens treats. It's lets you bond with your chicken a little bit, and it makes them much friendlier. So watermelon and cantaloupe, including the seeds and the rinds if they'll eat them. Mine won't eat the rinds, but sometimes they'll eat part of the seeds. Fruit like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. Mine aren't so hot on strawberries for some reason, but they love blueberries. Pumpkin and squash, raw or cooked, you can feed them. And of course, all leafy greens like spinach and kale and clover and mustard greens, salad greens. Just plain iceberg lettuce doesn't have any nutritional value at all, even to people, so stick with the darker greens. You can feed them cauliflower and broccoli, both the stems, the leaves, and the flowers if you're growing them in your garden. Some more fun treats. You can mix, oatmeal, cooked, cold or warm. It should be cooked, and because it expands, in your stomach if it's not cooked. You can mix some flaxseed in with the foods. You can just mix straight flaxseed into your food. Yogurt. They love yogurt, and it's a good probiotic source, just like it is for people. You should feed them plain yogurt. However, I never have plain yogurt. I always get the vanilla flavored because I eat it too, and I don't like just the plain yogurt. So most of the time I have vanilla flavored, which must be okay. I've been feeding them since they were very young. Rice, pasta, and spaghetti, but it has to be cooked. You can't give it raw. They love to play with spaghetti noodles. And I think the rice actually looks like maggots. I know that's terrible to say, but yeah, they like things that look like other bugs and things. So rice is a good one, but it has to be cooked along with same with the pastas. Stale bread. I don't feed mine white bread. I don't think it has any nutritional value at all. They like it. But I try to, when I'm done with a loaf of whole grain or 7 grain or 15 grain bread, I break off what's left up in pieces, and they love bread. And sunflower seeds, of course. Especially the black oil sunflower seeds. They can be with the hull or without the hull, but unsalted. You don't want to give them salted anything. Protein sources for your chickens, and they especially need protein sources when they're molting. So this is a good time of year to give them any fish or shellfish, just fresh only. It can be cooked, but it has to be fresh, not bad fish, of course. Scrambled eggs or hard-cooked eggs, you can give them back to them. That's a good source of protein. Don't give raw eggs, or that could start them from pecking their eggs when they lay them and eating the eggs, and that's almost impossible to break. So make sure you cook the eggs scrambled, or I usually scramble mine. And of course, what they eat naturally, like mealworms, earthworms, crickets. I get freeze-dried mealworms, but you can get fresh ones too, live ones. And when I dig through my compost pile, a lot of times I'll find a bunch of little worms, and I just take shovels of dirt and throw them into their extended run where they dust themselves, and they go through that dirt like crazy to find whatever's in there. I'm sure there's little bugs and things in there too, but the earthworms, those are the big treats for them. Crickets, I've never fed crickets because I'd have to go buy some crickets, and that's what's on the list for chickens. Treats, good and bad. So how is everybody doing today? I want to do this morning and get this, I don't know how Spirit will be when she comes home from her chemo. Hopefully she's not going to be real sick, so I wanted to get a scope in today. And the barn hasn't called me, which is a good thing, because she only calls if he isn't feeling well. So hopefully, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 hours for him not to feel well, but I think the vet was coming early because she's meeting me here at her office at 1:30, and she's the same vet that does the whole barn's vaccines, so she probably went out there about 9. I don't know. So the longer the time is, if it becomes 1 or 2, I'll be, content that everything's okay out there. Let me go over the bad foods again, what not to feed chickens. Don't feed them avocados. The skin and the pit are toxic. No candy, no sugar, no chocolate, just like in dogs. No citrus. There's too much acid in citrus. Any kind of citrus, just don't feed them citrus. Oranges, any kind of citrus, tangerines, whatever. Don't feed them citrus. You can feed them apples, but I'd take the core out so that they don't have the seeds. Because the seeds, like I said, do have a little bit of arsenic in them, as do a lot of pits of fruits. So even my horses, I always cut up the apples. I never give them the core. A lot of people do, but I'm sure it's not enough arsenic to hurt a big horse, but that's just me, Another bad thing is long cut grass. Don't throw long cut grass. It can get tangled up in their gullet, and not the gullet, but their crop, and give them a problem. Dried beans, nothing dried, because when they eat dried things, it expands in their stomach. You don't want that. You want them cooked, already cooked. So cooked beans, anything like that. No raw potatoes. No raw or green peelings from potatoes. Don't peel your potatoes and throw the peelings to the chickens. And onions. Onions and garlic, they say here, are in large doses. They might work as an antiemetic in small doses, meaning keeping from getting sick or throwing up or having diarrhea, but not in large doses. And of course, any moldy fruit. Things you wouldn't eat yourself, don't feed to your chickens. That goes with any animal, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, if you wouldn't eat it yourself, don't feed it to them. And that's what I want to get on and tell you about the treats, good and bad, for the little chickens. I'd be over there by my chickens. They're in the run, but as soon as I take my phone over there, it gets further and further away from the router or my modem, and I lose Wi-Fi. And I think that freezes some people, because people seem to freeze up when I'm way over there. So, but I may take a walk over there if you want to see. Just unhook this from my tripod and see how it goes. I have my fisheye lens on so you can see more. The acorns are still falling like crazy out here on the deck. And let's see what the chickens are doing. They all look terrible. Well, everybody except Molly, and Molly still's giving me an egg every other day. But the rest of them, their necks, they lose the feathers on their necks first, so they get real gangly looking. I mean, their necks are all skinny. And they're not all puffy like you can see. Molly there hasn't started to molt. See, she has a nice full neck. And look at these two. They're sort of all gangly in the neck. Yeah, Martha. Yeah, you need to start growing your feathers now. I think another source of protein is you can give them some canned tuna fish if it's in water and you rinse the salt off of it. That would be another protein. But I give them they get a lot of mealworms, and so little Spirit's out here. I want to leave her run around as much as possible before she has to go up to the doctor. It's only up the street. What do you have? Put that down. Yesterday, that's part of a dead chipmunk. Well, just a piece of it, because Dexter, this may be gross to some people, but, you know, I have hunting dogs. They're not supposed to hunt chipmunks, and I'm sure they didn't kill this chipmunk. The cats probably did and left it, you know, laying on the ground. And yesterday, Dexter was running around with this dead chipmunk in his mouth like he really did something great, you know. But Spirit is now eating it, and that alone could make her throw up. But such is life with animals on a little homestead. So I'll say bye for now. And I'll be on to report about Spirit probably this evening. So please say a prayer for her, whoever is still on here. And a prayer that Echo feels okay today. And I'll be seeing you later. Bye.